Mic off. So, yeah, so hello everyone. So today we are going to start our very first session, that is new to programming track part 1 of this week. And this track is basically for those who are new to the Android programming and who want to develop the apps from the very scratch. So I'm from Developer Student Clubs as a part of an SOC. It's an open source community. So let us start. Let us start with our very first slide. So before starting the new to programming track, I just need to know what are the prerequisites that you need to have. One is you can have a basic computer literacy, so it's like how to install an app and how to check for the source of an app. And the second thing is like a basic mathematical skills. So at some part of the Kotlin programming language, you need to have the basic math skills, and of course you need to have a desktop or a laptop. Then you need to have a stable internet connection. So why you need to have a stable internet connection? Because this course is mainly in a it's an platform in Android Studio Jam. So it's in a website. So you need to have a stable internet connection, and for an optional you can have an Android device or an USB cable. So why you need to have an Android device or USB cable? In the sense, let us say that your laptop it has an 8 GB of RAM, but then sometimes your the virtual emulator doesn't work. So then you can go for this option, that is connecting your mobile to your laptop, and you can run your app in the mobile. So those are the basic skills that you need to have. And yeah and so let us just take a time and let us think that what is your favorite Android app. So basically I have many of the favorite Android apps. I have like Google search, and let us say Google Photos, and also the YouTube. So they have a very beautiful UI. So in order to have a very nice app, so you need to have a beautiful UI, and it should be very efficient, and it's also need to be accessible enough. So those are the things that you need to keep in mind. So before making an app, your app should be at least a bug free, and it should be available to all the Android devices. So let us say that I'm now using the Android, that is so I'm now using the Android 8.0 version, and while some of them might be using the Android 10 version. So if you are making an app, let us say for the Android 10 version, then the particular app will only be available to the guys who are using the Android 10 version. It won't be available to me who is using the Android 8 version. So you need to keep in mind that while making an Android app, the app should be accessible to everyone. And the learning objectives before starting this our new to programming track, that is what are we going to complete through this part 1 session. So first is nothing but you can build your first Android apps. Then we'll teach you how to set up the Android studio on your computer. And the third thing is that you can learn the basics of Kotlin language. So we are starting from the very basics of a Kotlin language. So it's like a very pretty much basic. So I'll start from what is a programming, and a difference between a human and a programming language. Then we'll also learn some of the syntaxes in the Kotlin language, then some functions. Then at the end of this part 1 session, I need you guys to go through the part 1 programming track, and the part 1 programming track will also show the demo how to complete the track, and how to access the resources. Yeah, so let us start with our uh, first agenda, that today is to the introduction to the Kotlin language. So the first thing, that Kotlin language was mainly developed by the JetBrains. So you might have noticed the text editor, that is JetBrains. So most of them have been using it. So the mainly it is developed by the JetBrains. And the second thing is that it was introduced recently, that is in 2011. It's not like the C or C++, which was way before back then. It was just introduced, and Well, some of them people say that it's better than Java, but I don't know how it's better than Java, even though Java is so difficult. Then recently at 2017, the Google announced that the official language for the Android development will be Kotlin. Even though you have now Flutter, so Flutter is basically a beta version now, but the official language to develop an Android Studio, so to develop an app will be the Kotlin. So let us start from the basics of our. So I'll start from the pretty much basics. So I'll just ask you people also what is a basically a program. So when I talk about a program, so a program is basically let us say a series of instruction that you are going to that will perform a specific task. So let us imagine that if you had a pen, so let us take this pen, okay? So imagine that you can program this pen, and this pen will write the internals by itself. So imagine just by doing that. So what you are going to do is you are going to program this pen just to perform a specific task. So in this case, I'm going to program this pen to write internals. Please don't try this at home. I'm not responsible. So have you ever imagined that if you can just feed the datas and whatever the necessary things to this pen, and it will write by itself. So the instructions and the datas and whatever the related let's say whatever the related steps that we are giving to this pen is basically a program. So now in Kotlin, we have some similar functions. Yeah. So before getting into deep diving into the Kotlin language, I just need to know what is different between a human language and a programming language. So I'm communicating with you, so you can understand what I am saying. So it's basically a human language. All right. Let us say that for a programming language, I'll tell my computer to shut down itself, but it won't shut down by itself. You need to write a specific instructions, or you need to write a specific program to shut down. So the human language is not a so the systems or the PCs, they cannot understand the human language. So basically we need to go to the programming languages, and the human language is very complex when you compare it with the programming language. The one reason is that human language, you have so many languages. You have English, you have Kannada, you have Hindi, you have Tulu. But in same in a programming language, for a different system you have a different language. Let's say C++, you have Kotlin, Python, and even Dart. So let us understand about a little bit about a human language. So I'm speaking to you, so you are so you can understand English. Let us say that I will talk in Kannada. Though some of the audience might not understand the Kannada language because they are from other places. But in the case of, let us say, a programming language, so if I write a code in C, then the vast majority of the system can understand the C language. So we are basically writing another separate language just for the systems. And the other thing is that let us say that human language cannot turn off your system. That's the thing that I said before, because that's why you are having a power switch off button. So if you didn't have that power switch off button, and basically you just say your computer just turn off my system. Nowadays you have the AI, or let us say Siri and okay Google. Of course you can so you have basically those two things. So even in there, so when you talk to the system, what it basically does is, so it'll just convert whatever the human language interpretation to the system language. So then it'll the system will understand that, okay, so I have to shut down the system. So then it'll shut down the system. So that's all about I wanted to convey about a particular human language, also programming language. Now, okay, so now let us start our Kotlin. introduction to the Kotlin. So before starting to introduction to the Kotlin, so there is an Kotlin online editor. So you are going to use this editor in this new to programming track. So I'll just open the editor now. Um, yeah. So this is basically a Kotlin editor for you to just the practice some of the basic syntax languages, some of the basic programs. Let's say hello world, or you need to practice some of the basic functions and. Yeah, so basically this Kotlin online editor also been developed by the Android developers. So you will later you will understand while you are doing the course now. Okay. Okay, so the very first code that we can see here is the fun main, and there are some the flower brackets, and there is one statement. So I'll explain what does this code does is. So let me just open a marker. Okay, so to run the program, what we'll do is we'll just press this play button, and there you go. It should display the output. So there you go. The hello world is the output that is being displayed here. But let us say that I told you before that human language is very difficult. I'll just tell the Kotlin, hey Kotlin. So it's Kotlin. Sorry, hey Kotlin. Can you print hello world? So what I did is I just asked Kotlin, so can you print hello world? So this is basically a human language. All right, you can understand this language, but let's see whether the Kotlin understand this language or not. So when I run the program, so it's giving me a lot of error, that declaration error. So what the Kotlin is trying to tell us that, so what the Kotlin is trying to tell is that so the language that whatever you have used here, I cannot understand it. So Kotlin is basically giving us the errors that whatever the statement that you have written here, I cannot understand it. So you need to give me some specific instructions so that I can perform a specific task. So now we will write this language in Kotlin. So how we can do that is, let me this erase this statement. So what I'll do is, let me just read it in. So first I'll write fun. I'll get to that what the keyword fun does is, I'll just type main and the flower brackets, and I'll just type print. Okay, so now what did I do is, so I told Kotlin so to print the hello world. So I'll explain each and everything of the parts of the code. So let me just run this code. So you can see that the Kotlin has given me an output called as an hello world. So in this code you have three parts. So this is my first part, that is fun. You have the second part, that is main, and you have the third part, that is nothing but the print statement. So before understanding this Kotlin code, let me take an example of this pen. So you can see this pen, right? So in order for this pen to write, it has to perform some specific task. So for this pen, there are actually many parts. So let us assume that the silver top part is nothing but the upper part, and this is the second part, the refill, and this is the outer body. So can you write just with an outer body of the pen? No, you cannot. So can you write just by inserting the refill in the outer part? No, you cannot, because the refill will fall down. So can you write by inserting this silver part to this pen? So here you can see that. So all of these parts have been now joined together and they will perform their own task. So in the same way in our Kotlin, so in order to perform in order to perform this code, what we need to do is all of the parts, that is fun part, the main part, and the print hello world, all of these parts of the program has to work together, and by working together they will perform some specific task. So in this, what they did is they are going to display the hello world output. So let me just explain what the fun, main, and the print statement does is. So when the Kotlin tries to execute this program, the first thing that it notices is the keyword that is nothing but a fun. Okay, so basically fun is a keyword for a function, and main is nothing but the name of a function. So as you can see that in a pen, so every part has does some function. So the refill will hold the ink, and the outer part will hold the refill. So even in the same in Kotlin, every part will does some function over here. So fun is nothing but a keyword for the function, main is the name of the function, and print. So what print does is, so we are telling Kotlin that you need to display the text, we need to display the text which are inside this double inverted commas. All right, so we need to display the text which are there in this double inverted commas. So when I run this program, what happens is the Kotlin in understand that fun is nothing but a keyword for the function, and it'll understand this is a main program. So and inside these flower brackets are nothing but the task that it needs to do. So in here the Kotlin needs to print this hello world program. So the other thing is that in every Kotlin program there will be one main function. So always there will be one main function, and the Kotlin will start executing its program from the main function. So that's what I wanted to convey. That here you can see that there are like three parts. This is a fun, the main part, and the print hello world. So I will tell you later what this print ln does is. Um, yeah, so let's deep dive into the Kotlin program. So I'll explain you now what happens while if I insert the print ln. Okay, so if I just run the program, so there is no difference actually. So the previous output was the hello world, and still the program is giving us the output that is hello world. What we can do is let me call Binod. I like Binod. So hi, my name, and I'll again tell Kotlin to print this statement saying that hi, my name is Binod. Alright. So now what's happening is I'm telling my Kotlin that you need to. So I'm going to tell my Kotlin that you need to print these two statements, that is one is nothing but a hi my name, and the second one is nothing but is Binod. So let me run the program. So while I run my program, you can see that hi my name and the second statement is Binod, it's actually displayed different. So what's happening here is hi name is the first statement and the second statement is Binod. Now my question is that why didn't this hi my name Binod is displayed continuously like this. So why didn't my Kotlin, so the question I had is why didn't my Kotlin display the output in this way, but it had displayed the output in this manner. So how can we display the output in this way? So that's the that's the usage of the function. You can see here is the ln part. So what happens when you use the ln is ln stands for the next line. Okay, so when the Kotlin start executing this program, that is fun main function, what it does is it'll just so it'll come here, and it will notice that there is a print function, so it will print my name. So here you can see that my name has been displayed in the output. So now the Kotlin understand there is an another. Okay, let me change the color. um, okay, so now the Kotlin understand that there is something called as ln in the print function. So what it does is after displaying this output, that is hi my name is Binod, it will take the cursor to the next line. All right, so when the so this statement has been executed. Now the second statement, that is print ln. So Kotlin understand that there is a print function, and it will display whatever the text that is Binod, but it does not display continuously. Why? Because in the first we had the print ln function, and it took the cursor to the next line, and it displayed is Binod here. Now you may be asking that, okay, now we have the inserted ln function here. So if I type a statement here again, print, let us use print for this time, and let's insert saying that, and I like, so what can we give? We know that he likes, let's give samosa, yeah, like samosa, yeah. So what's happening here is, so it should display the three statements. One is hi, my name. The second one is Binod, and the third statement is I like samosa. So let me just run the. So here you can see that now the Kotlin has displayed the three statements. One is hi, my name. The second one is Binod, and the third one is I like samosa. So that's basically the usage of the print ln. So basically print ln, what it does is it will display whatever the text first, then it will take the cursor, it will display the text first, then it will take the cursor to the next line, it will display the text again, then it will take the cursor to the next line. So let me change from print ln to print. Now, you might have guessed what will happen. Um, so this is now what happening here. So it displayed the hi my name. Okay. So what happened here is Kotlin started executed this function. So it came here. So it started noticing that we have to print something. So it will print this text, that is hi my name, and it will notice that we have the ln function over here. So it will take the cursor to the next line. So in the next line it will notice that we have to just print the statement. So it will just print the statement is Bino, it will just print the statement. But then the Kotlin notices that there is no ln, so it will just print the second statement continuously there itself. So this is a basic function of the print ln. Now let us use a slide and let us see what we have today in this. Okay, sorry. um, just give me a second. Okay, now let us see what is the next slide. Yeah, so Binod samosa. Yeah, I like samosa, by the way. So now we are going to come across the two terms, that is nothing but a variables and the comment. So you have seen in lot of the programming languages we use the comments and we also use the variables. So why do we use the variables and the comments? So let me just take you to the okay. So let me just take you to the on an Kotlin editor. So let us say that this part of the function, what it does is, so I need to tell the another developer. So I am developing my code, and let us say that if I am sharing my code to one of my friend, then he should understand that what does this statement does is. So for that reason we are going to comment this statement. All right, so how to comment in Kotlin? So basically you need to insert two forward slashes and just tell that this will display text. Okay, so now by writing a comment to my code, the my friend can understand that, okay, so while he is looking at the code, so he can understand that this is a print function and it will display the text. So that's the reason we are using the comment. And the second thing that we need, the second term, the new term, that is called as an variables. So why we are using the variable? So imagine that your code is very long, it's like around 200 to 100 of lines. So instead of let me give you an example now itself. Let us say, okay, it works. So this is your program now. So imagine that you need to change your name from Binod to John. So I have to go to each and every print statement to change the name from Binod to John, Binod to John, and again Binod to John, Binod to John, Binod to John. So it's a lot of a hectic process, and it's very it's sometimes it's very difficult to find where the particular statement is. So to avoid these kind of difficulties, we have something called as a variables. So to use the variables, same thing as a function, you have the keyword called as fun. So even in a variables you have the keyword called as val. So val is nothing but basically a keyword for a variable. Now let me give a name to my variable. So I'll tell you later part why we need to give a name. So I'll give you here what is name, and I'll give name as John. Okay, so I have used this variable that is John, and I have declared it to the variable name called add as name. So I'll just explain the parts of the variable. So val is nothing but the keyword for the variable, and the name is nothing but the name for this variable. So what's happening is, let us say that the next time I will just need to store the data that is 20. All right, then I'll store the another data that is nothing but 30. All right, so in order to differentiate between these two datas, I need to know which of this variable will hold which of the value. So let us so if there was no name given to a variable, it was very difficult to understand, okay, which of the variable that I have stored 20 and which of the variable that I have stored is 30. So to remove this kind of confusion, we are giving name to this variable. So let me give the name as A and the second thing as a B. So by giving name to these variables, that is A is equal to 20 and B is equal to 30, we can understand now that A is holding the 20 value and B is holding the 30 value. So that's basically that why we are giving a name to our variable. So here we have stored the data that is John to our variable called as an name. All right, so let me just zoom in. Yeah, you can see the code now, right? Yeah, yeah. So that's a basic thing the variable does is. Now I have stored the value John to my variable called as a name. Now how to use this variable? So to use a variable, we have uh, we have some restrictions. So I told you that to use a programming language, we need to use some of the certain syntax. So to use the syntax, so to use a variable, we have to use the syntax. So the syntax is basically, I'll just comment here so that you can understand later. So to use a variable, we need to initialize a dollar sign, then the flower brackets, then the variable name. Okay, so by using this syntax we can use the variable here that is name John. So what I will do is I'll just remove this, and I'll just use a dollar sign and let me type here name. Okay, so I'll just copy this because there is a lot of statement, and yeah, I'll just paste it over here. So for the first time you need to use the variables. So now let us see the output. Okay, there's some mistake over here. We should have been here. Yeah, okay. So it's displaying like, hi, my name is John, is John, is John, is John, is John, is John, is John. So this happened because we did not use the ln. Let me just use it for the two of the statements, or else it'll be very hectic. And let me just remove this statement. Okay, all right. So now if I run the program, so you can see that, hi, my name is John, is John, is John, is John, and he likes samosa. Yeah. So the usage of the variable is for this reason. And let us say that I can change the name here itself. Let us say Binod, and just run the program. So here you can see that, hi, my name is Binod, my name is Binod. I just changed the value. I just changed the variable value. I did not change the print functions or whatever the text inside that has to be displayed. I just changed the variable data. So that's the reason that we are going to use a variable. It will be useful a lot. uh, Let me just delete this thing. All right. Okay. Okay. Now, the data that I have stored here is string data. So in the sense, if you want to display a particular text or a character, we are going to use a string. So if you want to store a integer value, let us say that Binod likes 10 samosas. So 10 is nothing but an integer. So you might have noticed in a mass you have something called as an integer and positive integer, negative integers, whole number, natural numbers. So same in programming language, you have something called as an integers. So it can be negative or positive or also zero. So what we'll do is now we will give Binod a samosas. So let us. So Binod likes 10 samosa. 10. Oh my God, he eats so much. So let us run this program. So here you can see that, hi, my name is Binod, and he likes 10 of the samosas. So today it's Saturday, and maybe tomorrow Binod likes 9 samosa. Maybe in Monday he likes to eat 20 samosa. So the value might change from day to day. So instead of changing it in the text, what you can do is you can store the number of samosas in a variable. So for a variable, we are going to use the val as a keyword, and give it as let's say num. Num is basically a short, let's say a shortcut for a number. Then I'll give it a value as 10. Okay. Oh, no, 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 not 100. 100 is too much. So let's give the value 10. And if I want to use the variable, I need to follow the same procedure. First the dollar sign, then comes the brackets, then comes the num, that is variable name. So here you can see that, hi, my name is Binod, and he likes the basically 10 samosas. So so I can basically change the value here itself and give it as a 50, and tomorrow he might like 50 samosas. So the next thing that you might get confused at, here I have used the double inverted comma. So why not in while storing the value that is num, you have given here double inverted commas. So the thing is that when you want to display a string value, that is a string value in the sense when you want to display a text or a character, number also can be considered as a character. Now let me insert these things in double inverted 50, and let me erase this. So here what's happening is, yeah, so here when the Kotlin tries to execute this function, it will take this 50 as a string value and it will store it in this variable that is num, and in that num value, and while you are using this variable, it will just display this 50 as a string value, so it's not an integer value. So if you want to use a integer value, you need to just declare it without the double inverted commas. So that's it for our variables and how to use the comments. Now the next thing is that you can see that I have used here I have used repeatedly. I have used println, 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 println. So basically, if you want your code to be compact and very efficient, there should be a less number of lines to execute. So if you consider this, the Kotlin has to execute this statement again, this one again, this one again, so this one again. So it needs to go to the each and every line, and it needs to identify what is the task that is needs to perform. So let us say one, so in here the Kotlin has to execute the 5 println function. So we have something called as a repeat function. So what does this repeat function does? So let me just type repeat. All right, in repeat, let me give the value 5. So just let's consider not 50, no, 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 no 50. So let me just give the open brackets, and let me copy this one of the statement along with the comment. Okay, okay, now let me remove all of this print function, or let me just comment it a little better. All right, so I have commented this statement. So before we had 5 of the println function. Now let us see, we have here only one of the println function. Now let us see what does a Kotlin does. Wait, that's the same output as the last one, right? So in here the Kotlin has executed 5 times binode, but here while you look at the code, you can see there is only one println function, right? So this is a function of the repeat function. So repeat function, basically it will repeat the whatever the task uh, which has been returned in this flower brackets. All right, so whatever so here you can see that the task that Kotlin needs to perform is it needs to print this statement that is nothing but a is, and with the variable that is name binode. So here you can see that I have given something called as a 5 here. So what happens if I give here null? So you'll get an error saying that no value is passed for the parameter times. So the Kotlin is trying to tell me that you have used the repeat function, but you did not say that how many times I have to uh, repeat this particular task. So what we can do is, um, we can use the num here. All right, and I think it will of course. So it has displayed the name Binod for the 50 times. So let me just decrease the value to 5. Okay, so here you can see that the print statement, that is nothing but is Binod, has been displayed 5 times. So he inside the repeat, so you call it as a parenthesis or open or close brackets. Inside this parenthesis, you can use a variable, or you can give the data value, integer data value, that is 2. So some of you might ask, what if I give -2? So it so wow. So the function does not take the positive negative, I mean the negative values. So you need to insert the positive values. All right. Okay, so that's basically the variable. We have used the variable. Now we have shown you to how to comment, and we have also shown you how to use the repeat functions. So now next is that, just give me a second. Okay, so next thing that I want to explain is something about the functions. So in this program, let me clean the code. It's very messy. Okay, so in this program, so what it basically does is it will just print my name, and just print the statement that my name is Binod, and it'll just type like I like 5 samosas. All right. So a thing about the Kotlin is that all of the instructions, you might not to consider in just writing them in a main functions. So now I'm just printing, let us say I'm just using the repeat function, I'm using the print functions. So there may be a time that you are using a lot of instructions, so you don't want them to, all of them jumbled together and write it in the main function itself. You can perform a specific task in another function. So what I mean to say is that, so here you have this function that is nothing but a repeat function, right? Oh, it's messy. Okay, so here you have this repeat function. So instead of executing this particular task in the main function, what I will do is now is I'll create an another function. All right, I'll create an another function for this repeat function, so that my main function is not jumbled together and it's not very messy kind of code. So how can we do that? So same as how we have written the main function, we are going to write the same thing for the repeat function. So for the function, we are going to use a keyword that is nothing but a fun. And the second thing is you need to give a name for that function. So let us say that the name for this function is to repeat the name. So what I'll type it as, print name. Oh, okay, print name. So print name is the name of the function. So what does that function does is it will just print the name. And let me give the parenthesis and open or close bracket. So I'll just cut the code, and I'll just display it over here. So here you can see that I have written a separate function for the repeat function, and from the main function I have removed the repeat function. So will this work? Let us see. Let's check it out. Oh, so now the Kotlin is trying to tell me that you have just entered something called as a name. So one thing that you need to know that the main function and the print name function, both of these are not alike. So both of them are different in their own way. So it'll just this print function will just print the name, and this is the main function. So the main function has its own task and the print name function has their own task. So now we know that they have their own task, but in name I did not declare a variable that is called as name, but in the main function I have declared the variable. But when you notice that in here print name I did not declare a variable name. So let us declare a variable name and then let's see what will happen. So I'll just give the name here. Mhm. Okay, so it'll just print hi my name and I like five samosas. But didn't I just tell Kotlin to repeat to print this statement? So the reason it did not so reason that it did not print the statement is that so Kotlin starts executing this function, main function. It starts executing, so it'll store the variable name and it'll store the variable num. But here you can see that I have nowhere mentioned this function that is nothing but a print name function in our main function. So the Kotlin just take so Kotlin will just execute this function that is nothing but a main function. So I need to give instruction to my Kotlin that hey Kotlin, you need to use this function that is print name function. So how can I use? So how can I tell my Kotlin? So all you need to do is you can use you just need to type the name of a particular function that will print the name. So now when I try to okay, so here you can see that it'll just it has displayed the repeated function that is nothing but the five hi my name is John, my name is John, my name is John. But the another thing that you might have noticed is that here I have declared the variable binode to name, and here I have declared the value John to name. So and in the output I am just so I'm getting the output as John, John, John. So this is because I have declared the value John in this particular function that is print name function. So what happened here is so first this is a first part where the Kotlin will store the value b node to the variable name. Then this is the second part where Kotlin will insert the value John to its variable name. So what's happening here is it will just override. So from Binod it has been changed to John. So to avoid such kind of confusion, you need to just you can just remove this val function and yeah. Oh, so it's telling us that you have used unresolved name. Yeah. So we can use here val and just give it as name. So will it work? Oh, so there are more and more errors. So that's another part of the function that I need to explain. So why it's not working? So why the Kotlin is giving us an error that is nothing but unresolved reference name? So the problem here is that I have told Kotlin. So when Kotlin tries to execute this function, it'll just take this print name and it'll call this function that is nothing but a print name function, and it'll execute the statement. But since we have not used this variable that is nothing but a name function, it's the Kotlin does not understand. So to so we have to give instruction to Kotlin that hey Kotlin, you have to take this name. So how can you do that? Mm. So what I'll type here is nothing but a name, and name I'll give it as name here, and because it is a string value, now let us see whether it'll, yeah, it worked. So there's a lot of changes that I have did in my code. The first thing is that I have entered something in this open and close bracket, and even in here I just mentioned something about the name here. All right, so don't need to get confused. We'll start again. So what we can do is, let me erase this program. All right, so we'll start from the scratch. First is nothing but function main. So in this function main function, I'll just print ln saying that mm, my name is Binod. All right, uh, I small. So after that, we'll just print one character that is nothing but oh, the smile symbol. Who doesn't like the smile symbol? Mhm, mhm. Okay, so now when I run, it will just give me this statement. So instead of displaying the symbol here, I'll use the another function. So what this function will done is it will print the symbol. All right, so I'll just copy this one and I'll just paste it here, and in the main function I'll tell Kotlin that to use this symbol function, right? So what I told my Kotlin, so this is a very simple program to execute this mode statement, that is my name is Binod and just a smiley symbol. So I'm telling my Kotlin that you need to print this statement, and while Kotlin tries to execute this statement, it will search for the function that is print symbol, and it will find out that the function is here, and it will execute this statement that is nothing but a smiley symbol. So let us move ahead, and let me try to tell you that what I did in the last code. What happened here is, now let us declare a variable. Okay, variable nothing but a smile. Okay, so this smile will hold this character. All right, so let me give some space. Okay, so now what I did is I just stored the character value to this smile named variable. So the next thing that I want to do is I need to use this variable over here. All right, so let me just type smile. So what I'm telling my Kotlin is that um, print store the value smile, and you need to print this statement, and while executing this function, you call this function and you print this statement. So while you printing this statement, you can take this smile from the value that you have stored. All right, so now if I just run my program, oh, that's the same mistake that's happened in my last code. So how can we correct this code? So to correct this code, what we are going to do is, first we are going to send something called as an argument. Okay, so we're just telling my Kotlin that this is called as an argument. All right, you need to send this smile, that is nothing but a variable name. So along with this function, okay, along with this function you need to send the variable name smile too. So in this variable name smile, it has stored the smile value. All right, now let me just clear this, and let's try to run this function. Okay, so there are a lot of errors now, so we need to resolve one by one. The first thing that you can see is Kotlin is trying to tell us that there are too many arguments for public fun and you need define in root file. So while you compare it to a Python where some of the error are understandable to the developers, while some of the errors you might not understand. So I'll tell you what Kotlin is trying to tell here is that, okay, so you have used this function that is print symbol. So you have sent this argument that is smile, but now the Kotlin doesn't understand what is this. Okay, so in the main function, the Kotlin understand that the smile is nothing but of a string value. But when you compare it to here, that is nothing but a print symbol function. Here the Kotlin does not understand what that smile value is, whether it is a value that will store integer, or whether it is a value that will store a string value. While you compare it to the main function, the Kotlin can understand that the smile is of this character. But in while you compare it to the print symbol function, the Kotlin does not understand what the smile is. So we need to tell Kotlin that the smile is of type string and it will hold this value. So how can we do that? So to do that, what we can do is we can just tell Kotlin that first thing is you need to type in the variable name that is nothing but a smile. All right, so now the Kotlin knows that you are sending me the argument that is smile and I'm accepting that argument, but now the still the Kotlin does not know that what type the smile is. So we need to tell Kotlin that the smile is of the type string. All right, now if I run my code, it runs, there are no errors. So what happened is, in the main function, when Kotlin tries to execute this function that is print symbol with smile, it will send the argument that is nothing but the smile argument. And while it's there in this while Kotlin tries to execute this function that is nothing but a print symbol function, it will understand that smile is of the value string and it will just execute the statement here. So smile is nothing but this character. So can we send two arguments? Let us send two arguments, so instead of one. So what we are going to do is we are going to store the age of Binod. So we are going to tell Kotlin that you need to store the value 14 in a variable called as an age. And what I will do is I'll type here print ln, and I'll just say that my age is, and I'll use that variable that is nothing but, so to use a variable we have to start with the dollar sign with the bracket and the variable name. So if I run this program, yes, so you can see that the Kotlin tries to tell us that there is an unresolved age. So you have used the age here, which is not there in this function, but it's there in the main function. So to resolve this, what we are going to do is, let me send along with the smile the another argument that is nothing but an age. All right. So let me also use the value. So let me tell Kotlin that age is of type and something but an int. So here you can see that it has been executed. My age is 40. So my age and with the variable name that is nothing but a 40. And what's basically happening here is the print symbol function will be executed, and I'm sending the two arguments. One is nothing but a symbol that is of the string value, and another one is of the age that is nothing but of an integer value. All right, so these are some of the basics, the functions that you need to understand about the Kotlin language. So let's have a brief over, or let's have a brief of like what and all did we learn about the Kotlin basics. So All right. So let's go to the next slide. Yeah. So what we have learned in today's basic syntax of a Kotlin, the first thing we learned about is the function. So first thing that we have learned is nothing but a function. So we came to know that function is nothing but it will perform some of the specific action. And the second thing that we have came to know about the main, which is nothing but a function name. So each and every Kotlin has one main function, and it will try to execute the program from the main function. And then we understood about the print ln and the print statements. So the print ln, what does it, it'll print the text which has been inserted in this double inverted commas. And after displaying the text, it will take the cursor to the next line. That's the use of the print ln. And the print is just used to print the whatever the text which is been there in the double inverted commas. Then we came to know about the variable and the usage of comment. So for a variable, we are using the keyword that is nothing but a val. And to comment the statement, we are going to use the two forward slashes. And to use the variable in the print statement, how we can use is by starting with a dollar symbol, and then with the open and close flower brackets with the variable name. And then we came to know about the string and the integer values. So basically, string is nothing but a string can be characters, so it can be numbers, it can also be names, it can be text, it can be special characters too. And the integer will store the numbers, the positive, the negative numbers. Then we came to know about the usage of the functions. So each of the function will perform a specific task. So in, let us say, in print samosa, it'll just print a virtual samosa. Or in our code that we have seen that the print symbol will actually print the symbol, and main function will execute the other part of the program. Then we came to know about the repeat function. So the repeat functions are the functions which will display the repeated values. Then we came to know about the function arguments. Okay, so then we came to know about the function arguments, where we will send the two arguments. Then we'll tell Kotlin that this argument is of the type integer, then the another argument is of the type string values. So these are the basic some of the basic things you need to know about the Kotlin. So don't worry that if you did not understand the code now, you will get to know more about this. Uh, so you can practice all of these codes in the course. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a demo on how you can access the course, and how you can start the course, and also how you can run the code. So to start the to access the course, what you need to do is I'll send the link. It's already there in the description. So when you click on the link, it'll take you to, yes. So when you click on the link, it'll take you to this web page. So let me just zoom out. All right, okay. So yeah, so it'll take you to this web page. So I got a message saying that for this year study jam we are having the two of the tracks. One is nothing but a new to programming, which we have selected, and the second one is a prior to programming experience. So only if you complete the prior to programming experience, you'll be getting the certificates. So so if you just complete the new to programming track, you'll not be getting the certificates, you'll be just getting the badges. And also you can just earn those badges. All right. um, just give me a second. Yeah, sorry for the interruption. So now we are going to start. Let me give you a demo on how you can access a course, how you can start your course, and how you can earn some badges that is from a Google developer, and also how you can complete the course. So first thing is that you need to click on the start course. So before starting the course, it will ask you to sign in. Okay, so this program is still in a beta version, so make sure that you sign in. Okay, so after signing in into the course, yeah, now you can just start your courses. So make sure that you are already signed in, or else what happens is when you just complete one particular course, what happens is the course will be completed, but there won't be any badges in your profile. So make sure that you are signed in always. Then let's click on the explore. So for the new to programming track, we have two units. That is, unit one is nothing but Kotlin basics for Android. Then the unit two are the layouts. So layouts are basically like the UI development of an app. So we'll start with the unit one of our Kotlin basics for Android. So when you click on this explore, you can see that basically there are four cards, or you can say them as a pathways. Okay, so there are four pathways. One is introduction to Kotlin pathway. The second one is create your first Android app pathway. The third one is like build a basic layout pathway, and the fourth one is like add a button to an app. So here you can see that I have completed the three of them. I meant to complete the fourth one. So you guys need to start from the very basics, that is nothing but an introduction to Kotlin. So just click on explore, and here you can see that when clicking on the explore, you have something called as an activities. All right, so these are the activities. That is nothing but activity 1, activity 2, activity 3, and activity 4, and the last one will be the quiz. Okay, so when you click on this activity 1, there will be a video. So there will be a YouTube introduction from the Android developers from the Google. So let me just play the video. So these are the
Welcome
videos,
to Android Basics in Kotlin.
and
I'm
here you
10
can see
and
that
life without
you
our
have
phone.
the
It honestly
developers
feels like a superpower.
from the Googles, and they're basically trying to explain what this course is about. And for each pathway there will be a video saying that what this pathway is about. So so when you finish this video, there is a problem that since it is still in the beta version, what's happening is let us say that I have completed watching my video. Okay, so you either have the two option, either to skip it, or you just have to go to the second activity. So here you can see that I do not have the green mark saying that I have watched this video. So when you compare to this third activity, so when you compare to this third activity, there is a green mark over here. But when you compare it to the first activity, you do not have a green mark over here. So after watching the video, there won't be any green mark. So won't be any green mark indication as it is there in the third and the fourth activities. So let us say that I have watched both of the videos. All right. Now the third activities is writing your first program in Kotlin. So so it's an online course. So it's from the Code Lab. So it'll take you to the number of step by step guidelines to know about the step by step guidelines to write your first program in the Kotlin language. So here in the left side, you can see that you have many of the steps that you need to complete. So these are the basic description about what this that is write your first program in Kotlin is about. So it's basically from very scratch, and after reading, and you can just press next. Then it'll tell you that you can use an interactive code editor. Go to this Kotlin playground. So this is a online editor that I have been teaching you guys. So it's very efficient and very fluent. So all of the courses and all of the basic syntax that I have teach you guys is already there in here. So you can read these programs once again. You can read the description, also the instructions. Basically they are teaching you from the scratch, and it's very good when you compare to the other resources. Uh, so it's basically they are teaching you in a fun way of learning. So they're not just teaching you the let us say this is how to statement. So there is a different way of learning which is provided by Google. Now let us say that you can see here you have the fun main. They'll be explaining about what this main is about, and they'll explain what this fun is about, and they'll also explain about what this the parentheses does, also the print, and also the statement inside the happy birthdays. So after, let us say that you have gone to each and every one of these, the next step, the next. So at the sixth, you can see the summary, that is basically that what you have learned in this pathway, that is that your first programming in Kotlin. Then you can also they will also provide you some of the more resources related to what you have learned in a particular pathway. So let's say in this pathway you have learned about write your first program in Kotlin. So they will just add the resources, so vocabulary for Android basics. So it's like there will be some of the parts that you couldn't understand, and it's like a dictionary for an Kotlin language. And when you click on this done button, what's happening here is yeah. So you are right to first program in Kotlin. You will get a green mark at the. You will get a green mark saying that yes, you have completed your third activity. So the same thing goes for the fourth activity too. So this activity is you to create a birthday message in a Kotlin language. So let us here you can see that they have introduced you the variables, and you can also see some of the print border functions. So in my code I taught you about the print symbol function, which will just a function that is used to print the symbols. And they'll also send you about the solution code. So if you did not understand a step by step code, you can just look at the last solution code, and yeah, and even the troubleshooting part, also the summary part. So it will just tell you what's there and what did you do in this activity. And after clicking on done, it'll here you can see that I have got the green mark. And then the last step that you need to do in order to earn the badges is to take the quiz. So in this quiz, you need to you need to answer all of the questions. I don't know, like let us say if you have 6 question, you need to at least answer 4 question, I guess. So let us try to answer this. So what is a program? Program is nothing but a series of instruction that computer system executes, and a keyword for the function, as I had told you, it's fun. And which of the following do you need to create a Kotlin program that prints a line of text? So we need to have, first is a function, then you need to have a curly braces, and we need to have a print function because we are going to use a print line function. So what do you expect this Kotlin code to do? So basically there are two print functions, so I guess print 2 lines of text. And how would you modify the main function that it prints a 6 layer cake? So here they have given that they have declared a variable called as a layers, and they have given it as a 5, that is integer value, and also you can say a variable called as an age, and they have declared it as 24. So to print a 6 layer cake, so there is a layer function. So we have to change the layer from yeah, this one, set value to 6 and age to 4. Why we are not choosing the second one is because you have the double inverted commas. So if there is a double inverted commas, it means that we are using the string function, but in the question they mention that it's an integer value, so we need to choose the third one. And this one here you can see that the name is of value string, so they should be a double inverted commas, so the last one doesn't come in an option. And the location is also a string, the second one has to be also a double inverted comma. So here you can see that the first option and the third option contains the double inverted commas for both of these, and the last one is of the type integer. So integer does not have the double inverted comma, so it's first one. So let us submit the answers. Yeah, so I actually scored 5 out of 6. So when you complete this quiz, you will actually get a badge. I'll explain later what the badge does is. So, so where did we do wrong? Oh, so yeah, so we also needed to choose this one, a piece of text surrounded by quotation marks. Okay, so let us return to our pathway. So after completing this pathway, there is also an error that even after completing all of these courses, the taskbar will also like it won't be 100% completed. It'll just show you the 60% completed because it's still in beta version, and the videos, there's also a problem in videos, but you are getting a lot of resources in here. So you are also getting an online editor, you're getting an instructions, you are basically there is a summary for each and every part of the code. Now let us go back. Okay, so there are 4 pathways. So this is a pathway 1, and this is a pathway 2, the pathway 3, pathway 4. All right. So what I told you that is that while after completing the pathway 1, you will be getting a virtual badge. So what is this virtual badge? So basically this is a badge which has been developed by the Google developers. So they want to showcase your talent. So if you, let us say if you want to add in your resume the Google developer profile, you can add it. And so when you click on your profile, you can so let me just give you a demo here, the Google developer profile. So how to access the Google developer profile is click on the course link. So when you come to course link, you have near your like the top right corner, you can see there is something called as a Google developer profile, the settings icon. You can just click on that and go to Google developer profile. So at first it will tell you to sign in to view your profile. Now let me just sign in. Oh yeah. So if you are a first user, so it will ask you to sign up. It will just basically ask your details about the college and your pronunciation, whether you are he or whether you are she or she. Then it will ask your location. It will ask your links related to GitHub, LinkedIn, and Twitter. And here is nothing but a statistics, which will show that how many badges that I have earned. So in my Android basic course here, you can see that I have completed three of the pathways out of four. So this is the first batch, that is nothing but an introduction to Kotlin. So you can see the batch here, that is nothing but introduction to Kotlin batch. And you have the second one, that is create your first Android app. Then you can see the batch over here, that is nothing but first Android app in the Android Studio. Then the third pathway, that is build a basic layout. You can also see the badges over here, that is build a basic layout. So after completing each of the pathway, you'll be getting these virtual badges, and it's very nice to have a virtual badges in our Google developer profile, and it's still in the beta version. So when it comes to publicly available, you'll be having a lot of badges in your profile. So to yeah, you can just add to favorites, and here you can see that this is my favorite batch. Yeah. So not only the Android Studio Jams, you can also earn the badges by just going to here. That is nothing but pathways. So in pathways, there are a lot of resources. You have the Google Cloud. You have, I think, the Flutter. Also, you have the webs. So you can also complete all of these courses, and you can also earn the badges. All right. So this is about the badges, and make sure that while you are doing the course or while you are attempting these online courses, make sure that the one thing that you need to know is that you need to be signed in always, or else what's happening is, like, when you complete the courses and you won't be able to get a batch because you were not signed in. Okay. So that's all about our course. So new to programming track. Mm, so that's the online course for the Android study jams, that is new to programming. So don't worry about the installing for the Android Studio. So we're going to cover this next. And so let us say that you have completed new to programming, then you can start with the Kotlin cones and also the prior to programming experience. So while completing both of these tracks, let us say that you have something created an app, and so you can send the app to us, or in a WhatsApp group, or just DM to me. So I'll send the app to the Android developers, and if that app is very unique, they're going to display our app in their online communities, that is Twitter or in LinkedIn. So you will also get a chance to showcase your app in in their platforms. Then uh, let's continue with the slides. They're not okay. So this is about the what I just explained about the unit one, that is nothing but Kotlin for Android basics. Then they you have the pathways. So then you also have to perform to take a quiz. So you remember that you need to take a quiz in order to earn the badge, or else you will not be able to earn the badges. So these are some of the virtual badges that I just explained now. And you also have the Google developer profile. So make sure that you sign in before before starting the courses, to both the Google developer profile and to the pathways. Now let me just give you a demo on how to install the Android Studio. So to install Android Studio in your system, here you can see that you have the system requirements. So even if you are using a Linux, or even if you're using a Mac, or you're in Windows, you need to have a basic system requirements, or else what happens is you'll be able to install the Android Studio, but there will be too much of RAM usage in your laptop that you cannot run the app. Or sometimes what happens is you can run the app in your virtual device, but your laptop uses so much of utilization, CPU utilization, and sometime your laptop might get stuck, or you might need to restart again and again. So before installing the Android Studio, just check on these system requirements. So in Windows, you can have any version that is 7, 8 or 10. So 8 GB is what I recommend for installing the Android Studio, even though here they have mentioned about 4 GB of minimum. If you have 8 GB of RAM, it's more than efficient to run fluent Android apps. Then you need to have 4 GB of disk space. So why 4 GB? One is to install the Android SDKs. I'll mention them later. What SK, what do you mean by SDKs, and space for your project, and also the system image. Then if you consider a Mac, the same thing, the 8 GB RAM is recommended, and 2 GB of disk space. And even for the Linux, you have the same thing, 8 GB of RAM. So remember that the installation in Linux, Mac OS or Windows are different. So in Linux you might have need to run some of the commands, even in Mac. But in Windows you can just it's a pretty basic installation. So in Mac you have something called as uh, yeah. So basically in Mac it's you need to have, and if you want to have Android Studio, it's very different than that of the Windows. So let me just give you a demo on how to install the Android Studio, and as well as the Android virtual device. So what do you mean by Android virtual device? It's just an emulator which pops up on your screen, and you can basically run the app, and you can also test your app in that Android virtual device. So let me just begin. Yeah. So let me okay, so let me show you guys how to install an Android Studio and Android Studio virtual device. So the first step is that we are going to download the Android Studio. Let me go to this site. Okay, so basically I'm in the web, and I'll just type download Android Studio for Windows 10. All right. So it'll take you to the page that is nothing but developer.android.studio. Don't go to download from any other website, because you need to. So from official, it's always better to install some of the files from the official website itself. So I'll click on this. So when you come to this web page, here you can see that download the Android Studio. So let us say that you are using the Linux, then it will show you the file. It will show you the downloadable file for the Linux. If you want, you can just click on the download options. Here you can see that you have the recommended that is a version of this. And the other thing that you need to know that is you cannot install the Android Studio in 32-bit version. you need to have a 64-bit version in your Android in your laptop. If it is a 32-bit version, you cannot install the Android Studio, nor can you run your app. So let us just download our Android Studio and just click on I have read and agree about terms. If you just read these terms and condition before downloading the Android Studio. Let me download the Android Studio now. So I don't know if you can see that here. So yeah, you can see that it's 10 minutes left. Yeah, yeah. So now my the file the Android Studio it's had been downloaded, and also you need to know that the Android Studio file is around 896 MB. So make sure that you have the stable internet connection. So let us say that you are downloading the 200 MB and sometimes your internet gets crimped up and you might need to install the file again. So make sure that you install you have the stable internet connection and your internet speed is good, or else you can ask me while I'm in college. I'll share you the file. So let me open this file, that is Android Studio. Okay, so the first thing that it'll ask you whether to install the app or not. Just press S and let's click on next. So here you have this option to install the Android virtual device. Just click on the Android virtual device and click on next. Then check on the space required. You need 3 GB of space. Then you can just if you want to install it in your D drive, you can store it in a D drive. But I recommend you to install the Android Studio in your C drive. One is basically you need to uh, compile your files very faster, and you need to run the Android Studio very faster. So let us say you have C drive. Your C drive is SSD, and D and E drive is the other two drives are HDD. So I recommend you guys to install your Android Studio in SSD hard drives. Then it's asking me just to create shortcuts in my desktop, and it's installing my Android Studio. If you want, you can just click on this show details. So let the Android Studio install. Okay, so now, yeah, so now we have successfully installed our Android Studio. So I'm using a high-end PC, so in your system it might take a lot of time to install. So it's asking you to start your Android Studio. Let's start our Android Studio. Let me just bring the screen up here. Oops. Just wait a second. Hmm. Okay. So this is the first screen that when you start your Android Studio, this is the first screen that you will see here. So let me start first with an Hello World app. So in this session, we are just going to run an Hello World app. We are not going to create a UI. That we are going to do it in a next session. For this session, we are just going to create a new project. And here you can see that you have various templates. The one is that here you can see there is a lot of templates. Basic activity, bottom navigation bar, empty activity. You also have the login page, the maps, and you also have the settings and scroll. And not only for the Android, your mobile phone, you can also try to create an app for your watches. So you can have your watch faces, and you can also install, you can also create an app for your Android TV too, and also your cars, then IoTs. So we are just going to create a basic Hello World app in our Android phone. So we are going to click on empty activity, then next. So here you can see that there are okay, can you able to see that? Okay, so here you can see that there are few things that you need to understand. First is nothing but the name of your application. So I'll name it as an Hello World application. And the second thing is nothing but a package name. So basically a package name is nothing but a unique name to your project. So the let us say that the hello world is just a text string. Your system might not understand what your app is about. So the system is actually suggesting a unique package name for your hello world app. You can keep it as a default as suggested by the Android Studio, or you can just change it to like something like Hello World 1 or 2 or something. So I'll keep it as a default. Then you can also change the location where you want to save your project. You can install your Android Studio in your SSDs. Then you can store your projects in your D drive if there are less amount of space in your SSDs. Then you have to select the language as Kotlin. So since this Android study jam is all about Kotlin, so we are going to select it as Kotlin as a language. Then here you can see about minimum SDK. So SDK is nothing but a software development kit. So basically what it's asking is what's the Android version that you need to run this app. So let us say that my friend is using the Android version of Android 10, and I am using the Android version 8. So if I try to create an app in an Android 8 version, it will work on Android 10 version too. But if you try to create an app in an Android 10, then you try to run it on Android 8 version, then it won't run. Some of the apps might run, but there will be some of the features that will not be able to run in the Android 8 versions. So for each of the Android versions, they have given a API level. So these are the API level, and the cumulative distribution is nothing but the maximum number of the percentage the people uses this Android version. Uh, so 99.8% is when the first Android, let us say 4.1 version has been released, and each and every one of them were using the 4.1, then 4.2, then 4.3, then 4.4. So here you can see that the 6.0 version were 84%. Then now if you compare to the Android 10 version, the cumulative distribution is very low, because it's recently they have released the Android 10 version, and it's not yet distributed to each and every Android device. So so let us say that we can choose the Android 6 version because the percentage is about 84.9%, and it will run the app, and my Hello World app will run basically on 84% of the devices. So let me click on OK, and yes, I have chosen here. So what is this? Use legacy and support libraries. So basically, that is for the Android. Let us say 9 or Android 10. Let us uncheck it for now, and let us click on finish. So let me bring Android Studio here. Mm, just give me a minute. Yeah. So this is my Android Studio. Now there are few things that you need to understand. So when you are creating a project, here you can see there is some Gradle going on. So this is nothing but a Gradle sync. So Gradle Sync is nothing but the Android Studio is creating the project for you. That is an empty activity template that we have been used. So it's creating a project for you. So it might take some time for Android Studio, to create a project for you. So depending upon the system, it might vary. So in some of the system, it might take a minute. In some of the other system, it might take even more, let us say, more than a minute. So my Gradle sync finish has been done in 42 seconds. Now the basic layout, I'll explain about the basic layout in Android Studio. This is your project section. Let me just full screen this one. Okay, so this is your project section where all your files will be stored. It will display. Let us. So here you can see that if you click on this pop-up, you can see the project. So project is basically, now I have only one project, that is nothing but a hello world. So let us say in session 2 or 3 you might have 3 to 4 projects. Then you can also click on the project source files. So it will just take you to the location where you have stored your project. Then also the packages. uh, then you have, so you want to click on the Android. So in Android, you want to go to the Java, then the hello world main activity. So here you can see your Kotlin programming language. So no need to worry about these things. So this is a layout where you can find all of your files, and let us say also the resources such as images, or let us say logos. And over inside here, if you want to change, so you can click on this view, and you have your tools window. So you can check like uh, let us say an event log. So here you can see that Gradle sync has been finished. So event log is basically the Android Studio telling you that I have processed this function, and I have even processed this function too. So let me close this one, and now what will we do is we'll run our app. So before running our app, you have two choices. One is to run your app on your Android Studio, that is by connecting, so that is by running a virtual device. Okay, the other thing is by connecting a USB plug. So if you are connecting your Android device to your Android Studio, one thing you need to know is you need to enable the USB debugging mode, and the other thing is you need to let us say you have something called okay, I'll tell you later that you need to enable one of the option that is called as an Google debugger or something. Yeah, but most of the times we are going to use the Android virtual device. Why? Because um, nowadays the phone like aspect ratios or the displays has been changing day by days. Also before I have this smartphone, so there is it's you still have the bezels, but now if you consider some of the phones like you have the notches, so in the through the virtual device we can always test our apps to the pretty much updated version of the mobile versions. So how can you install the Android virtual device? So to install the Android virtual device, first you need to go to the AVD manager. So here you can see a small icon that is right side. So here you can see a pop-up talking about AVD manager. So click on this and let us create a first new virtual device. All right. So I click on new virtual device. So here you can see that I have so many virtual devices, Pixel XL, Pixel 4 XL, Pixel 4. So here they have also given you the screen resolution size 5.7, 6.0 and 5.6 and 6.3, 5.4, 6.2. You have 5.4. Yeah, there are so many display sizes too. Now let me install pretty simple mobile phone. Let me try to install Pixel 3 because uh, the screen layout is very simple. And if you want to install virtual device, let us say for a tablets too, you have for the tablets, you have Nexus and Pixel C. Or if you want to install for, you can also install a virtual devices if you want to run your app on your app. So let me click on this Pixel 3 and I'll click on next. So now here it will ask you to download the Android version that you need to run on this virtual device. So the Android is the newest version one. So since I'm running, so I have selected Marshmallow. What I'll do is I'll select let us say Android Oreo. Okay, I'll just install the Oreo version in my virtual device. So click on next and it'll try to install our Android, that is Oreo version of the Android. So here again you might need 700 MBs to install the Oreo version. So it might take some time. Let us wait. Um, so all right, now that we have installed the Oreo version in our Android, so let me, so you can also download the other versions too. So for now I'll just install the, I have installed the Oreo version, then click on next. So if you want your mobile to be like shown in a landscape or portrait, so you have the graphics option too. And if you want to name your device, I'll just name it as Pixel 3. Then let me click finish. So here you can see that we have created our virtual device that is nothing but a Pixel 3. All right. Now that we have, so to select an app, you can run on AVD manager. So I'll select app and I'll select pixel 3. Then let us run our first app in this track. So you can check on event log that the Android should is saying that executing tasks. So let me bring my, so this is what you call as an virtual device. So now since that I have installed the Pixel 3 version, so it's just booting up my phone. So let us wait for our phone to boot up. Yeah, so my phone is has been booted up, and here you can see that it's actually like our normal phone. So it's saying that operation successful and it succeeded. So here you can see in the event log that there were no errors in creating an Hello World app, and this is the basic app that we did for today. That is nothing but we have created an Hello World app. If you want to change the orientation, you can just change it like this. All right. So you can change in any direction if you want. Then you can go to home. You can also slide the notification panel. All right. Then you can also, so here you can see that our Hello World app. So now it's, we did not update the icons. So this is our default icon for the Hello World app, and if you click on this, so this is basically a Hello World app. So to close the emulator, this is a turn off button. So it will actually switch off the phone. So let me just close my Android device. So in your system, it might say like something like saving the state. So next time, if you, let us say, if I open my Android virtual device now, uh, it'll just directly open the app that you have previously opened it. So this is all about the Android Studio. So more about the Android Studio will be explaining a bit in the next sessions. So stay tuned for that. Now let us close the Android Studio. Okay. So these are the basic things that we have learned in today's session. So today's session we have covered from an introduction to Kotlin. Then we have covered on how to install the Android Studio. Then how to use the Android virtual device. Then we have also covered some of the basic syntaxes of the Kotlin languages. Then we have also shown you how to access the course and how to start the course. Then we have also covered on explaining like how you can earn the badges in the Google developer profile. So all of these are links I'll send it in a WhatsApp group, and you can also check the description below. And you can also check our open source community, SOC, and Developer Student Club is a part of an SOC. So you can also check our website too. And so that's it for today, guys, and next week we'll update on you when we are going to stream our next live session. So make sure that you subscribe to our channel and keep the bell notification on. Yeah, that's it, guys. Bye bye.